Yeah.
Episode 4. Right? Okay.
Alright, so why don't you start off for once, Mike?
Okay. Which title of this episode is...
Hold on. Let's
it
look
is
really professional.
it's deciding to
go for it.
Go for it. So, I think this was around the time of the recap, so we were really struggling with the art. We were really struggling with a few other decisions. And so we were like, okay, we were shelving things a little bit. And then I think, this is something I kept rolling in my head as an idea. It's like, I really think we could do this. Then, I think it was around that time, like, NFTs cooled down and then it kind of blew up again, and I was like, all right, I was like, let's think about it. I was like, maybe I can start looking for some artists, some, developers. I think that was it. Like, how do we get it done, right? And so then I think I called you and we're like, listen, I really think we should push and get this going. Like, what do you think, right?
Yeah,
and
you could have been like, oh, I think this and I'm in. So, you don't have to twist my arm to get involved in crazy zany ideas. Like I'm just always in.
That's right.
But really, Mike found a good artist who we stuck with. We kind of did a first milestone with him, and at this point when we were tabling it, I think we had committed to Juan, who was our artist.
Yeah.
And we were like, look, we're only $250 in the hole. Like, we could stop.
Yeah, we had decided that he would work on samples, and he was really good at, like, all right, I'll make you a sample, and then I'll keep making iterations. Like, so, and honestly, we should, like, touch a little upon, like, that part of the journey, because the most difficult thing in the beginning was, like, how do I find someone, right? And so I started Googling, like, what are good freelancer sites? And, like, there's two really popular ones, Fiverr and Freelancer. Freelancer, I will say, I do not work for Freelancer, but it's a very good website. I mean,
and I will say I've done a lot of business on Fiverr, and it's very low budget.
Yeah. It's just that, like, just the chat functions on Freelancer, the uploading any type of file, like you really are working one-on-one. For $10, they have an agent that finds you someone. Man,
we should just mint a freelancer NFT.
Yeah, a broker that finds you, an experienced person to put your project description. So I was like, all right, let's put it up, and then people bid on it, and, you don't know who's, right, you're just working with a random person. And so I think that's the scary part. It was like, all right, well, we're going to go for it, but I literally have no idea, like, does this person know? And, our project's a little more complicated. I know we'll talk about that, but it was like, there's certain parts we needed to definitely know if we can do. So, and we are not experienced in the, the whole developing area of NFTs and websites. And so we're like, we need to ask the right questions, right? And then the art was a separate project. So I kind of posted separate projects, and that's where we found Juan, or Ignacio is actually his name.
And I think at this point, it's really important to let you guys know how much of the shouldering Mike did on the project, because he was doing it all. Like, I was like, I'm in, I'll give you money. And, like, usually when I'm involved in a project, I get very manic and very, in, and I want to do everything and push. And I was like, you know what, this is Mike's child, this is his idea, let me just take a back seat. But, I was going through a lot in personal life that, I couldn't physically just give it my all. And, I'm grateful to have a partner that actually really saw it through, and I didn't want to stop, but I really couldn't contribute as much as I wanted to. So we got the art down, and Mike was talking with all the artists.
And it wasn't that, it was like iteration after iteration. I would take the art and I would, like, put stuff towards it. What's the design going to look like? A star, a cube, a circle, is it a token, is it on the wall, is it like 3D?
We're going to get into the breakdown of all the stuff, like I think episode 5 or 6. But was the art was a big hang up, and then the pricing was a big hang up, and like we talked about last episode, which world we want to live in, like high-end exclusive or like really just, wholesale, like everybody can have access. And so once Mike started to really work with this artist, it came together, but then we hit a few other like speed bumps. And I think one of the main issues is that our NFT is, like we discussed earlier, somewhat unique, where you get to kind of almost customize it and make it your own by putting your own name or brand or whatever onto it, and randomly generating your own NFT. But that functionality is in its own right a nightmare, because it's not been done. So then we were working with one guy named Mayor, and he was super cool, like nice guy, but we could kind of tell he wasn't going to get us there.
Yeah.
And then that...
And there was a little bit of a give up at that point too. Again, like we started, we're going to go for it, but now I don't know.
Yeah,
fine.
yes.
And I remember saying, right, I was like, I'm going to go back on freelancer. Let me just like look around some more. Right.
Yeah, and then that led us to our developer, which, you know, I guess we should kind of put a pin in it somewhat soon in this episode because we don't want to give that away too much because that's a big... That's like its own whole episode.
Yeah, for sure.
But, you know, thanks for getting to know us a little bit better. And, you know, if we can just take 30 seconds now to just really fill you in on the project, you know, I know this is a third of the way in, but, you know, you're going to get this really cool art. You're going to get to customize it, put your name on it. The mint price is low, and the things that we have planned for holders and investors are all in our roadmap, which is on our website, but there's a bright future for our project. Like, we really want to embrace the metaverse, and we really want to build our blockchain of fame and make it almost like this place that exists in, I don't know, Sandbox, Decentraland, somewhere in the metaverse where if we mint and we sell out, that's it, we're going
like
there.
We're definitely going to do that. I mean, that was the idea. It's like Chris was like, imagine if we actually had a physical location. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, that's great, but we're not doing
who the hell's going to go there?
But, you know, we're not building that. But
it's like, I'm going to the desert to see that blockchain fame.
No, and then if you see projects now, all the ones coming out now are all about metaverse. And they're all like, oh, we want a place in the metaverse, so, you know, we're going to buy land in, you know, the Sandbox or whatever. And I'm like, that can be a thing. Like, if we have a full collection, this could be a metaphysical location of it, right? Yeah. So I really think that's what we really want to like get to, because that's going to be a fun learning experience too. We have no idea how that works.
Yeah,
you know?
So the future is definitely bright for us to, you know, like do whatever we want, but our major sticking point is minting and getting people to get excited and mint so that we have the funds to really
like put more into it, for sure.
Fund our project.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, you know, thank you for listening to that sales pitch. If you're not convinced by now, there's more episodes to come. So
we have more. We have more time for that.
You know, and don't mind us. We are like really just trying to bang this out because we have so much other going on.
We're not filming this in real time. Like that's straight up like the truth, right?
Yeah.
But we want to catch you up right away. You know, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and you know, we do have to take breaks in between sitting uncomfortably close to each other during this. But we'll end it there.
Okay.
Thanks for watching.